Wow, the room looks really dark today. That's really interesting. And I was going to write something up on the board and I clean forgot. I've been so busy today that I've clean forgot to put the thing on the board that Spirit gave me this morning when I was reading the cards. So if there's your brain's too busy, there's no room for Spirit. Something to that effect. So, which was very, very interesting. Okay, I've only got a little while on time online today because I've got to go out and do a few things. So it's a very quick visit. So hopefully I have plenty of people. Hey, Lauren, how are you going? Plenty of people joining me today. But I had a couple of things that happened like in the last night in terms of messages coming through. Hey, Haley, how you going? And I had quite a lot of little awakening moments. So it's been quite interesting the last 24 hours. I, Donna, how you going? Hey, Lenore. Um, the one this morning with the reading, when Spirit said that, I've heard them say that to me before. A busy brain has no room for Spirit. And I really didn't understand what it meant. And I've listened to it a bit. Good morning, Melissa. Hey, Jules, how you going? But it really hit home today. And I thought it's so true. When we're busy and we're avoiding all our feelings and all our emotions and we're constantly thinking about stuff, how can we listen to the messages coming through? And I've sort of heard it before, but it just meant more to me this morning. So a busy brain has no room for Spirit, which was quite interesting. So I'm going to draw some cards and then I'll tell you the other thing that came through, which I thought was pretty amazing. I want to share that with you too. So we are going to read, we've got the whale spirit again. How often does the whale come through? Okay, let's try something else. All right, we have the whale and the mouse coming through. Now, I saw the mouse come through before. The whale and the mouse. So let's have a look. The whale's come through a few times. So now I would say to you, being that the whale has come through a few times, it's probably is something we need to really take on board. Just 2 seconds for me to find them while you're all coming in. I can see everything moving over there. Okay, the whale. So this is a desire to delve deeper, profound peace and ancient wisdom, and that's so much of what's coming through at the moment. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain as they have overcome many challenges in their lives. These experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. So, this is about being calm, steady, and dependable and compassionate. So, that's what the whale's about. Okay, so I'm going to read the mouse as well. No, he's up the other way. He's an earth creature, Yvonne. You're not going to find him swimming. There he is, nice and easy. Oh, Susan, how are you going? You've all been talking while I've been talking, so I missed you all. So the mouse here. This is about being detail-oriented, small-minded, nitpicky, and nervous. So it's almost the exact opposite to the whale. Isn't that interesting? The mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details, and it often spends its day fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision for life and try to control every detail. This can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. I can see where that's going completely. So they're asking you to have less mouse energy and have more whale energy at the moment. So concentrate on the bigger picture, be more compassionate towards yourself, and don't worry too much about being too stuck in details. Hey Gigi, how you going? He's flying through today. Hi, Cheryl. How are you going? New subscriber. Nice to see you on board. Um, a lot of the people in here have been coming on here for a while, so you'll see that they're all very familiar with each other, which is beautiful. Okay, I'm going to read you a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle, and then I'll talk about what happened last night in my dream. I had a couple of things happen after this little epiphany I had this morning when I finally got something. Been told so many times. Oh, very interesting. We have the card, All That Glitters. There we go. Let's have a look. Okay, card 16. Okie dokie. There we go. And everything's so shiny today because I've forgotten to put the light on in the room. So this is a need to see beyond the superficial, see beyond the mouse. That's what it's all about. The desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not and chasing after every sparkly new thing and being mercurial. It's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title or position, the stamp of authority or the sparkling of diamonds, these icons let you know something about a person, place, or thing. Or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the masks people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine that all the glitter is gone. Would you still desire the object or person? Very, very nice. Oh goodness, we've got heaps of people on here. Hey Joanne, how you going? Stacy, how are you? Yeah, really busy. So I wanted to share because I had a really awful dream. No, it wasn't scary, but I dreamed that we were sort of in an apocalypse. So there was nothing horrible going on, and I was still trying to do the 1.5 meters, but everybody was gone. There was hardly any people around at all, and it woke me up at about 1 o'clock. So that's cute, Lauren. So I started laying there, and my mind was quite active, and I started to think about what had happened during the day yesterday, and that's what I said. It's just been a series of sort of epiphany moments for me. There was something that happened yesterday, and I remember thinking, you know, sometimes we say things and wonder why we say them. For example, you might say to someone, I can't ride a horse. I've never ridden a horse. I can't do it. And I think, what is it in your mind that makes you think that you can't ride a horse? Why are you saying that from experience, or are you saying it because someone else said to you you couldn't ride a horse? Um, and I thought a lot about that. And I thought, I wonder how many times when we're young, we're told something, but it really manifests when we get older. So I always think of myself, for example, as being quite an introvert. I love socializing, but most of the time I like to be alone. I really don't really want to be around other people, or I want to be quiet. I don't want to talk. I get worn out easily. So I wonder where the idea of being an introvert has come from. And has that been because somebody said it to me? And I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago with that when that guy on one of those channels, Gaia or whatever, had come forward and said, as a child, his parent used to always introduce him and say, "This is so and so, and he's very shy." So he always grew up thinking he was a very shy person. Now, the thing is, many of us still do that. We say we can't do this, or we don't do that, or this is who we are. And I wonder how many times you stop and think about, where did I get that from? What did I think? I was when I heard that. Who said it to me? Is it really who I am, or is it just something I've been told? And that's it. do we automatically think I haven't done it so that I can't? I mean, for example, like, I know people who go skydiving, and I always think, oh, I don't think I could do skydiving. I'm really not, even the thought of it makes my stomach flip. It doesn't mean I can't do it. It doesn't mean I can't have a go at it. But if somebody had said to me, you're never going to skydive because you're so nervous, or you don't like heights, so you'll never skydive, then is it their idea of who I am, or is it my idea? Now, the reason I said that, because Spirit said to me last night, I have to learn what my soul wants. And I went, okay, what does my soul want? And I couldn't answer that question. I couldn't answer it. So I started to think about it, and I thought, I wonder how many times in my life I tried to visualize what I wanted to be, what I wanted to be when I got older, who I wanted to be. Hello, Jane, how you going? And I thought, I wonder how many of us then, after sort of having that brief conversation with Spirit, wonder what does our soul want? Do you know what your soul wants? Do you know what you want in your life? Yeah, I agree with you, Gigi. A picture's painted of us. We do it. We live so much by what other people tell us that a lot of the time, especially if you're empathic, and it's natural for you to take on people's views and people's ideas. But I want you to all think about, what is it your soul wants? Have you achieved what you want in this lifetime, or are you still trying to achieve what really fulfills you, what really makes you feel that you've achieved something? It's that whole idea of, you are loved, Jane. You are loved. Don't want to be loved by someone else. Love yourself first, and then someone else's love is extra to that. But you're already loved. Um, but I don't know, how many times you sort of think about your life and you think, what is success, for example? Hey, Nicole, how are you going? What is success to you? Um, why are we not realizing, that what we have is already with us? We're already successful. What do we want? What do we want with our soul? Have we got everything we want now? Because we're still wanting. So it sort of made me think, when Spirit said to me, what does your soul want? I was like, I don't really know what I want in my soul. I've never really thought about that. I mean, obviously, I love doing the work I do. I do what I do on a day-to-day basis. But what do I crave or want long term? Oh, that's no good, Nicole. Um, so I want you to think about that, because it really sort of sent me on a bit of a spin, really, thinking about, what do you want to achieve in your lifetime? Are you one of these people who wants to, build a legacy for your children and leave your children with lots of things? Is it that you want to have, a really healthy partnership? Is it that you want to have success? Do you want to become rich and famous? What is it that your soul wants? Because how many times do you tune in and think, this is what I want, and then wonder where that came from? Did someone else put that in my mind, or is that really what I want from my life? Because once I got thinking about it, it just took me on this whole journey, and I couldn't go back to sleep. So we're talking 1 o'clock. And I listened to a meditation. I listened to an hour meditation, and I still wasn't tired. I was so pumped and so exhilarated by the whole thought of really not tuning in to see, what is it that I want? Because we are so busy fulfilling everything else in our lives, having our children, having our families, doing what we need to do. And what is it that we really want from all of that? But maybe what you want is already there. Maybe what we want, we already have. Maybe then, you have to start thinking about that whole thing of lack. Have you got what you want now? Is it really something you don't have in your life that you crave, or is it already with you? Because when they said my soul, I was like, I don't really know that I've ever gone into myself before. I've sort of run along by the seat of my pants and just done things as I've wanted to. I haven't really thought about, what is it that I really crave? Because on a good day, I might crave to listen to music. On another day, that's exactly the one I'm talking about, Jane. Do we already have what our soul wants, or are we, needing more? What level of success is success to you? Is success, having raised a family? Is it success because you've completed a degree? It's interesting, isn't it? Because what your soul wants is who you are, not what everybody else has told you, certainly not all the things you've done. I'd like to have a vacation to Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii a couple of times. It's a beautiful place. It wasn't as nice the second time as the first time because it was really cheap the first time, but I'm just reading a couple of these. Don't see things as failure, Melissa. There's no such thing as failure. If you've got it wrong that time, it's because it needed to teach you another lesson, so you go back and you try it differently. The failure is it's one of those negative words that got into our language. It's like rejection. None of those things are true. They're all very judgmental words. If you don't succeed at something, if you try something and it doesn't go the way you want it to, it's because you just didn't get it quite right. But now you've got the knowledge to do it next time differently. And that's how we learn. And I always talk about children learning to walk, right? If they fell over the first time and they went, well, that's a failure, I'm not going to bother with that again. None of us would ever walk. But what happens when they don't get it right the first time is they learn, I need to hold on to this time. I need to do this time. I need to be more stable. And all of that is just instinct. So the next time they do it, they get it right. It doesn't mean you failed. A failure is a very judgmental word. It's very negative, as is rejection. So a lot of people like relationships. There you go. Somebody doesn't want to have a relationship with you. We go away. We feel like we've been rejected. We beat ourselves up about it. But we haven't really been rejected. It's the other person didn't want us. That's not our rejection. That's theirs, not ours. Why do we own that? So it's crazy. Oh, Jules, that's beautifully put. Peace of being whole and complete, experience unconditional love, being one with all. I think that is absolutely beautiful. And I mean, if you're, a person who's altruistic, that's the way you would want to be. So when you're really at peace with yourself, that's what your soul would want. It's absolutely beautiful. No bell, Sarah. You caught me. That's really funny. No, again, see, Melissa, if it's your soul mission, it may not be that you've got it wrong. It may be that you just didn't have the right ingredients the first time around. Now, I always talk about that Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Sanders, because that's my favorite story. And I will talk about it. Tony Robbins taught me this, and he taught me a lot of others. The guy that started off the delivery service in America that's huge now, where a guy went in with a package and said, I'm going to deliver this package in the next state within 24 hours. And they went, oh, you're stupid. Don't do that. Now that's all that runs in America. All of their big packages, everything goes through whatever the name of that company is. But the same thing with Kentucky Fried Chicken, because Colonel Sanders had that recipe. He didn't even start trying to sell that recipe or trying to do something with that recipe for a very long time. And he walked into over 1,000 restaurants and talked to them about buying his recipe, and he got knocked back time and time again, but he never gave up. He knew it was a good recipe and he knew it was worthwhile, so he kept walking and knocking on doors until someone said, yep, we will do that. He never gave up, and I'm pretty sure he was well into his 50s, maybe early 60s by the time he got listened to. So it's sort of really hard, isn't it, to not see things and beat yourself up about them. But if you don't do it right, that's why I said it's like a kid trying to walk. If you fall over the first time, you don't give up. You don't just go, well, okay, I fell over and I've hurt myself, so I'm not going to get up and try walking again. That's not for me. You get up and you try it again, and you probably fall over many times before you start to walk properly. But look at us now. It's not even something we have to think about anymore. So it's quite interesting when you look at it in that respect. Um, what does your soul want? Difficult to answer. That's why I said go away and think about it, because I'm going to ask you again tomorrow about it and whether you thought about it. What makes you happy may not be the same thing that what your soul wants. So, like I said, is it that you want to leave a legacy for your children? Is it that you want to have success in your life? Do you want to build something that you feel really proud of? Like, what is it that your soul wants? Is it just, to feel grateful for what it has around you? Um, Could it be that we follow a path with the help of signs from the universe? Then we get to a point where it changes, but had we not listened, we may not made it to the crossroads. I guess it's sort of a really funny one. Me too, Jules. See, I told you we're twins. Um, I don't. I guess it's whether you believe that your path is written for you, and this comes back to that whole idea of, is it destiny or do we have free will? Or is our life a combination of some things of both, or is everything pre-written? Do we allow ourselves to not get things, the right way to start with, because we need to build to get it really good when we finally get it going? I mean, if you ask people who have tried things and haven't got it right the first time, I mean, have a look at the Orwells trying to build planes to fly. Look at where we are now. If they hadn't have got it wrong many times, maybe we wouldn't all be flying everywhere. Well, not so much at the moment, but you know what I mean. It still takes a lot of energy to go back again and do it differently. But I'm sure their soul wanted to see planes fly. It's just really funny to be asked that question. Obviously, there's something for me out there, and spirit is saying to me, it's there. What do I want? And I was like, not able to answer it because I'd never really thought about it before. So I don't know whether it's because as I said, I've always sort of sailed along by the seat of my pants. I thought I wanted to get married. I thought I wanted to have children. I've done all that. Is that enough for me now, or do I want more? Please unlock myself. um, I don't know, Jules. I sort of wonder sometimes, like it's that whole thing of, are you meant to be with the same person for your whole life? Or does each time you meet someone, you want to have a different life? Is it that, you grow out of people? And nobody says that we have to be, with the same partner forever. And maybe having 3 or 4 different relationships in the stage of your lifetime is quite a normal thing for us to do. But we just don't know, do we? No book on it again. There's no book on it. Yeah, see, Sarah says she's 50 and she still doesn't know what she wants to be when I grow up. Mine changes all the time. And I think that's okay too, right? If you want to be one thing one day, if I decide tomorrow I want to be something completely different, that's okay. It might take a lot more work, but I've seen people do it all the time where they say, I'm too old to do something. And I think, well, really? You're not. You're never too old to have a go at something. Yeah, I know, Gigi. I'm not real sure whether to be happy about that. That's because you talked that once before, and I remember saying, likening you to Elizabeth Taylor, because remember she got back and married somebody twice. I don't think I'd want any of mine back. You can have them. So it's quite interesting, isn't it? But anyway, I have to go very shortly. I've got a few things I've got to do today, so I knew it would be a short one today. But please think about that, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But think about it when you're laying in bed and things are very quiet, and you're looking at what you want from your life. What do you want to achieve? I watched Sarah trying to battle away and do her book. Is that what your soul wants, to have a best-selling book about yourself? Um, Poor Gigi. So you don't want to get married a third time. That's pretty clear, isn't it? Um, but yeah, have a think about it. I think it's a really good question to ask yourself what fulfills you. Are you still, doing things because that's what you think that you should be doing? Are you going through, every day thinking that this is it? Obviously, there's something more for me, but I just never really thought about it. It's quite interesting because it really my mind just went crazy after that, thinking about it, trying to dig deep inside myself, trying to find what it was that I wanted. I can remember as a child doing the whole, did I want to be a nurse? Did I want to be a policewoman? I went through all the same things lots of kids do. Hi, Moonstone, how you going? Um, I don't know, but I really want you to have a think about it, and see, yeah, and I think that that's really, I think that's a really good thing, Jules, that we do get to change. But at the end of the day, is there something that you have in your heart or in your soul that you want to achieve in this lifetime that you've never really thought about before? Again, sort of going through the motions, right? But it's quite interesting because I do think I've got something still lying ahead of me and I haven't actually identified what it is. So it's going to be really interesting now. Anyway, I have to go. So please take care. I will see you tomorrow. It's Saturday tomorrow. So we'll try and do something fun. Take care of yourselves, and much love. Mwah.